Okay. I think the puppy stopped barking. Literally the moment I hit record, he started barking. And I turned off the recording. I was like, fine, I'll just wait it out. And he just kept going and going, but I think he's finally done. It is 5:30, which means feeding time could be happening at any moment. I want to apologize for my hair. It's growing itself out, and in the attempt that it's trying to make to grow itself out, I look like a wet noodle. I have the weird late 90s bowl cut thing going on. It's really, really hot, like so hot. Anyways, I am here on my floor in front of my anime, manga bookcase, and a little bit of my nonfiction death bookcase. This book actually is just about gravestones. I was pretty disappointed when I realized that it was just about that. But this one is special. It is the Metallurgical Investigation of Death by Spitz and Fisher, the second edition, and it has a lot of not YouTube appropriate stuff. So here I am with my demon goat Farfel, and I want to talk about something a little dirty. A little taboo. I want to talk about money. Specifically, money when it refers to the art world. Even more specifically, money in the art world, getting paid for your artwork. He's my friend! So, money, art world. What I mean by that. I recently received my artwork back from the state fair. It was a great success. I won 2 blue ribbons for my work, which was very unexpected and very exciting. And also, I got the attention of someone who went to the fair. I got their attention and they left me a note on the back of one of my art pieces saying that they wanted to talk about painting. I was a little confused because I don't do paintings. But after trying a couple of emails, because I couldn't read her email address, hey out there, if you're emailing somebody, please write your email address very legibly, because it sucks to be on the receiving end trying to guess, and Google keeps telling you over and over again, this is not an address. So just write legibly, please. If not for the poor person you're giving it to, just for my soul. Farfel feels it too. We emailed a little bit and they were curious as to know if I was doing commissions. So on my website I don't have any information about commissions or selling work. I'm not doing commissions at this time because commissions suck. All the sour gummy worms in the world suck a lot. And it sucks to do them because the person that you're doing them for always has a very strong image in their mind. Well, okay, I shouldn't say always. Usually has a very strong image of their mind about what they want. And they think that you can pull that from their mind and make it for them. And that's never gonna happen. That doesn't happen. Alright? You know, there's always going to be some hand of the artist in the work. And there's no way that that's not going to be the case. And so you end up doing redraws and draft after draft after draft after draft after draft. It takes longer than both sides expected it to take, and there's more redraws than both sides expected it to take, and in the end the person's happy, hopefully, not sometimes, but at least content enough to be like, alright, this is it. But you always get screwed over because the amount of time that you have to put into redrawing this thing for them, and the amount of tools you have to put into it, like pencils and paper, which are not inexpensive things. They're not cheap. If you're getting good things, they're not cheap. And your time is not valueless, alright? Time is not valueless. You have to put that into perspective too when you're doing art pricing. And in the end of this commission, you know, you've spent more time and more money into the piece than you're getting out of it. So I just don't do commissions at this time because I just don't want to deal with that. I've been screwed over too many times. It is not something that I will do. I will sell existing art, but I'm not going to make art specifically for you. If you find yourself specifically drawn to a piece of mine, that's fantastic, and I congratulate that, and I welcome that, and if you want to buy it off of me for that, excellent, but we're not starting from scratch, okay? So she wanted to ask about commissions, and I said, you know, I'm not doing commissions because everything I just said now, only more professional and concise. But I said, you know, I am selling the 2 works for this price and prints for this price. And they ghosted me. I have not heard from them for about a week. When we first started this email back and forth, they were very responsive. Like 30 minutes, they had written back. I am calling it now a ghost, and this person is now gone and will not be buying from me. And it's frustrating because they won't respond back, so I'm not sure exactly why they don't want to purchase it, but at the same time, I totally know why they don't want to purchase it. Because they don't want to spend the money that I'm asking for these original pieces. Not prints, original pieces. And that's very important. The distinction between that is very, very important. So yeah, I recently got ghosted, and it doesn't feel good to be ghosted. I've been ghosted more times than I can count. And for the longest time, for like maybe 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years, I just stopped selling artwork entirely. Because I was getting so tired of being ghosted or having people come back. You know, when it first started, they were totally kind, totally polite, and then they just turn into these monster people that want to rip your throat out because they're just so angry at you. And it flips like that. But yeah, I've been ghosted a lot. It really made me think I'm asking too much for my work. I'm asking way too much, and then that devolved into my work isn't worth this much that I'm asking, which devolved into I'm not worth this, which dissolved into my work is nothing. I'm nothing. Why even bother showing? I'm not going to show anybody my work. To the point where for, 3 years I just didn't show anybody my work. I turned off my website, shut down all social media that I had, and for about a year no one could see my work because it had devolved to the point where I just felt like it wasn't worth even showing. But then, I started YouTube, and I brought some of the social medias that I had back. Started showing my website again. I was paying for it the whole time, but now I was showing it. I still didn't put in like a pricing thing or like a commission me here thing, but I did put a contact me page on the website, which was really scary to do actually. For a few months I went back and forth turning that page off and on because I was just very anxious about it. And I had to really sit down with myself, basically have a come to Jesus moment with myself. It's like, okay, you're showing now, you're letting people see into your mind and who you are, and you're willing to sell these works. I have years and years of artwork just hiding away in the closet, under the bed, in storage places, behind lock and key, because I was too scared to show people and even more scared to sell it. I didn't think anybody would want it. But I had to sit down with myself and say, all right, what is this worth? And thinking back through the years of talking to people that are very smart, way smarter than I am, and have very, very good perspective, people whose opinions I trust very highly. It took a lot of talking to them and a lot of talking to myself to be like, all right, this is how much I'm worth. And I started taking accountability for the tools that I was using. I was keeping track of the price of paper. I was keeping track of the price of colored pencils and ink and the tools that go into the trade. Just keeping track of those receipts. I started holding onto those so I knew exactly what was going into it. And then the hardest part was trying to decide how much my time costed. How much was my time worth to myself? And that's a hard question. And it's a question that every artist has to ask themselves at some point. How much is my time, my stress, my literal life worth that I put into this piece? And there's some artists online that are willing to do a drawing for $5 and that's it. They're happy, and that's great. There's people out there that are willing to do 10 and you know what? Happy, great for you. Have a great day. Goodbye. And then you always have that sneaky subculture of, well, I'm gonna undercut this person and I could do it for a little bit cheaper. And then you get into that dark side where you start talking to somebody about making a piece and they commission you to make it, then you do the pencils and they pay you for the pencils, and then you start working on the final and they ghost you. And then later on the website you find that they've taken your pencils to another artist that'll do it for cheaper. That's happened to me too. Which is why I also say don't work without a contract, all right? You need a contract. Even if it's something as simple as, oh, I'm doing a tattoo design for this person. Get a contract. There are so many contract templates online. Get one, finagle it so it fits for you, because you want to protect yourself as much as possible, because there is no one and nothing that can protect you from other people when you're an artist or somebody who's working online, especially if you're a very small person like me. I'm very, very small. Someday I would love to have a studio space and apply for an LLC so I had some safety net. That's far away in the future, if that future is even possible. I'm not sure it is. Anyway, yeah, get a contract. So you don't get fucked over. Yeah, back to the main subject of how much are you worth? And the longest time I lowballed myself. I was content with saying my time's worth $10 an hour. $10 an hour. That's ridiculous. You can go driving and you see on fast food signs hiring $12 to $15 starting. And these are on fast food signs. All right, 12, 15 starting for people who have no skill or just maybe a little skill in the area that they're hiring for. And here I am charging $10 an hour for my time, when I am a professional, all right, I am skilled, and I have the credentials for both of those things. I could kick myself for charging that low, and I have, okay? It's ridiculous. No, I shouldn't do that. Farfelkugel, am I kidding myself sometimes? Farfelkugel, am I a clown? Am I a joke? Is this worth anything? Am I worth anything? What am I doing? Am I ruining everything? The answer is my time is worth way more than that. Way more than that. Freelancers, I've seen $30 an hour for their work. And it's true, I'm small and I'm nobody. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm literally nobody drawing pieces of art. It's taken me a long time to say that what I'm doing is art. So I'm coming along. I'm taking steps in the right direction. Pretty slow, but at least I'm able to say safely and without any twinge of the fear of narcissism when I call what I do art. That's art. I do art. So how much am I worth? I really don't have an answer still, because I don't feel confident in who I am yet. It's taken a long time to get to this level of confidence. I'm hoping that the first hurdle is the hardest and the hurdles to come will be a little easier, but I know that that's not true. I'm not gonna kid myself in thinking that's not true. That's not true, is it, Farfelkugel? He agrees with me, it's not true. I really don't know what I'm worth, but I know that I'm worth more than $10 an hour. So after talking with all these people that have opinions that I greatly look up to, they were giving me these quotes and they were explaining to me why it was the price that they were saying. And at first I was flabbergasted. I'm not worth that much, but I am, and my time is, and my skill and my ability is worth it. So taking into account all of those factors and taking into account the place that I'm living and the economic system that I'm living in right now, I gave this person the quote and I put the print quote there as well, and they ghosted me. And I think me, even like 3 months ago, would take that so much more worse, like hard. I'd take it harder. I would even maybe go to the extent of just trying to cut off contact with everybody. That's maybe 3 months ago me. Me now, oh my God. The puppy. The puppy. The me now, I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna back down. In fact, I'm going to take into account that when I gave her that quote for the original piece, I was giving a discount, if anything. I should have charged more, but I didn't because I was thinking about the economic climate around this area of the state that I live in. It sucks. And I can do nothing about it. Hey, yeah! Anyway, I just wanted to quickly share that story because it's been on my mind and it's been bothering me, and it's been bothering Farfelkugel, alright? So we just had to talk about it. And as far as advice about how to do your own pricing for your own work, the best advice that I could give is always take into account the price of your tools and keep track of how much time you spend on the project you're working on. Even if you don't know how much you think your time is worth, keep track of the time that you use on it, okay? Keep track of that, because once you have those factors, it is a lot easier to try to come up with a final figure. And you know, I might look at this video 3 months from now and say, girl, you're fucking stupid. So stupid. And maybe I'll have more insight 3 months from now. But for right now, that's the best advice that I can give. The only other advice, you know, would be is you live once. The amount of time and stress and basically your life that you are selling, you should get a good price for that. And that applies for not just, you know, art. It applies to every job. Is your stress and your time worth the price that you're getting for it? Seriously, ask yourself that, because that's really important. And also take into account that jobs, not only are you in the job, at the job, you know, you're actually there doing the work, but you come home and, you know, I know a lot of people who stress out about their work. They come home and they vent about something, or they come home and they're stressed out about tomorrow because they have this big project that's going to be due for this. They've taken their work home with them and still giving their life to it, but they're getting paid not a single minute of that life that they're giving. So maybe that's the third thing I would say is, when you clock out, clock out. Don't bring that home with you. Leave it at the punch-out station, because if you bring it home and you stress and you worry about work when you're not at work, you're giving them your time, your life for free, and they are stealing from you, and nobody deserves that. I think my thoughts are spent on this subject. So me, or I should say Farfel Kugel, and I, yes, that's the right grammar, we'll be going. We're gonna watch a nice movie and go to bed. And tomorrow, punch in again and keep track of our time, because that's important. If you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about for next week, let me know. We're gonna leave now, and have a good evening. And hope you do too. All right, bye.